Welcome to Module 4. We're coming to the end of the module. I've actually had a lot of fun with this series so far, and I have a few more modules to go, so let's drop in for a good lecture. Either way, today we're going to talk about best practices when looping. So, some things to take into consideration, when you're writing your loops or your iterative statements. Watch out for infinite loops. They can really tie your hands, especially when you don't see them coming. I think I wrote an iterative loop or an infinite loop, an infinite loop in the first two lectures of module 4, unbeknownst to myself. I wasn't even thinking about it. Be purposeful when using jump statements, because your jump statements are very important. They're very important because they give you the ability to break when you need to, which means that you stop the loop altogether. Continue when necessary, meaning you stop that iteration altogether and go to the next iteration. Or the other jump statement that we didn't discuss, which is go to, which will go to a specific line of code based on what your thoughts are within that loop. What are your decisions? When you're writing your loops, it's important to give yourself exit conditions to understand if I don't find something, if I see something, if the program determines that it wants to do something, just get out of that as quickly as you can so you don't run unnecessary code. Lastly, understand when it makes more sense to write a for loop versus a for each. In the last module, we talked about for each loops. And in your mind, you're probably thinking, hey, you know what? I'll always write those. And that's a good thought to have. You should have a go-to iterative statement that you use regardless. But please understand, for each loops are not always the best thing to use, especially when you're trying to update the value within a loop or a list or an array. You can't use for each loops to do that, because for each loops are looking at that specific list as a purposeful, as a span in time. So you can't do much to it. It would actually do harm to the list. So for each loops prohibit that. Therefore, using a for loop is far more efficient. And then efficiency is a key, as a nice segue. Be efficient, write less code. The less code you write, the more efficient your code is. And that's really it. That's the end of module 4. I want you guys to know that there are more modules on the way, so keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, happy coding, good luck, have fun, ciao.